Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey, buddy. Hey, how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I am sitting here, still not back at home yet. Still part of this amazing road trip, I guess you can call it, promoting the AGAPE token and everything that is going on. Super excited to be back with you guys. It seems like last week, we didn't get a chance to do much. We were here together on Monday. Tuesday missed, and then Wednesday was just a quick 10-minute or so video. So it's nice to be back to normal. With that, I just want to say, give everybody a quick shout out. Good morning, Dave. Hope you are doing fantastic. Thank you all for all of your support. The Infinite AGAPE token is alive and well. Had some amazing meetings and contacts out in Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas, including most of you that are paying attention have probably seen a short clip of me and Grant Cardone talking. That actually was part of about an 11-minute video. So we're going to have that edited up and published here on the YouTube channel very, very soon. Also ran into John Trask, the founder and CEO of DIMITRA. Such an incredible project, DIMITRA. And him and I had a fireside chat, probably talked for 15 or 20 minutes right there at Bitcoin 2025, recorded a great interview of all of the new things that are happening with DIMITRA, and then just networked like crazy. I did a bunch of interviews and set up a bunch of interviews, and I am excited for what is coming with the Infinite AGAPE token. Good morning, Eric. Hope you are doing fantastic. Assuming you are probably enjoying the first week or two of summertime with your kids. Congratulations to everybody that made it through another year of school with their kids, and now it's time to enjoy. This is probably my favoriteest time of the year. I always loved summertime. I'm like most kids. I hated school. Never really enjoyed the school year. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of kids that really enjoy school. I was never one of them. Give me one quick second here. Hopefully that this is important. Hey, buddy, you're calling me right in the middle of my live stream. What's up?
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Not important?
No.
Okay. I love you. Nope. My son forgot that I was doing the live stream. So I shouldn't assume. A lot of kids really enjoyed school. I was a guy that enjoyed summertime, and then I love the sun. So I really love this time of the year. It's one of my favorite time of the year. Well, it isn't one of, it is my favorite time of the year. Part of the reason that I moved to a place like Las Vegas was so that I could have sunshine, pretty much year round. I'm not a big, four seasons kind of guy. I can go travel someplace if I want to see snow or if I want to see the beautiful leaves, like in some of the places on the East Coast where everything turns those majestic oranges and dark browns, like Connecticut or someplace. I can always go travel someplace like that. Vinesh, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Saw that you liked and retweeted that post yesterday. Hope you are doing fantastic. John Magpoli, thank you for being here. Mr. Daniel Prosper, hope you are doing fantastic, man. Appreciate you very much. You are killing it in the Telegram group, doing such a great job adminning that group and taking care of everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Tim G. Hope you are doing fantastic. We got Mr. AAA in the house. And let me see here, Mr. Pablo Noodles. Hey, Paul, how you doing, brother? Hope you are doing fantastic. And then we got Greg. Hi, Greg. It was great seeing you out at Bitcoin 2025. Hope you are feeling better. I kind of started coming down with something right at the end. I guess it was actually closer to Saturday, maybe Friday. When did we check in here? Friday? I think it was Friday, right? Yeah. So Friday night,
I better not get me sick.
Woke up with a sore throat. I'm feeling pretty good now, but I'm stuffed up. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything is good. And so, guys, the title of today's video is Winning is More Fun Than Fun is Fun. And I just wanted to reiterate that so many people go through life, they forget what it's like to win. And in this society, we have maybe taken an emphasis that used to be, you could argue that maybe 30 or 40 years ago, the emphasis to win was maybe too strong. I'm kind of one of those guys that doesn't believe that personally, though, because I just don't believe that you can be too emphatic about winning. I think that when you really break it down and boil success down, the people that win in life are technically usually some of the most competitive people. Like, I'm competitive. I don't care if we're playing a game of hearts or if we're pitching pennies at a wall or playing basketball or, any of that stuff. Wonderful. So, like I am super competitive. And part of the reason that this came to my mind was I was watching Michael Jordan's, Hall of Fame speech last night, a little bit of it, and he talks about, some things that happened in his life that caused him to really win. He talks about I can't even think the gentleman's name, but he literally, the guy who got him cut from the starting basketball team. So this guy that, there was a guy that won out Michael Jordan for the starting position on the high school basketball team. That guy's still probably a cool guy. He was actually there for Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech, but that gentleman never went on to do anything. I don't believe he ever played in the NBA. I'm not even sure if he played in college. But, Michael Jordan used that as fuel. There was another person when Michael Jordan ended up getting into college. There was this guy, Buzz something or other, that was supposed to be the #1 All-American Player of the Year. And like Michael Jordan said, they ended up being roommates. But he had, that guy was a target in Michael Jordan's mind. He didn't know he was a target. He says, he didn't know, but he was a target. Dean Smith, I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but Dean Smith, the coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels at the time, they did a Sports Illustrated cover, and he put 4 of the starters onto the cover of this Sports Illustrated, and he left Michael Jordan off the cover. And whether his reason was right or wrong in Michael Jordan's mind, it burned him up. It was frustrating. It lit a fire even deeper underneath Michael Jordan. So winning is important, guys. And for those of you that have gotten used to not caring if you win, I'm here to tell you that it's important to get that drive back. People don't like playing games with me because I got to win. So I try to be a pretty good sport at the end of it all. When all is said and done, if I didn't win, I'm a good sport. But in the middle of the battle, I'm doing everything to win, and I don't give up. I don't quit. We're playing a game of basketball, by 1 up to 11, and my team is down 2-9. I'm not giving up. I'm the guy that is telling my teammates, hey, what are you guys doing, man? You guys walking around like this is already over. Like this game is not over. They still got to score 2 more points to go. Let's go. Let's go. Like, quit moping around and acting like losers. Act like some winners, and let's go try to win this game. And I don't care. I mean, as long as there's been lots of times where we've come back and we've ended up winning games like that, or at least we made them close where we ended up losing 8-11 or something like that, where you at least felt competitive. Man, I love that feeling when you're down, by a bunch of points or whatever is going on in life, and you feel like your back is up against the wall, and your only option is, in my opinion, is to just come out swinging, to come out fighting. But this day and age, too many people don't have that fire inside of them. They've been taught by society that winning's not that important. Winning isn't everything. You know, all of these participation awards, like my wife and I right now are trying hard to have a baby. And I know when I'm raising this young man or young woman and they're playing sports that I'm going to have some trouble with this participation trophy. Like every team gets a trophy and every team is a winner. I don't believe in that. I apologize if I'm stepping on some toes here, but I'm telling you guys, today's world does not prepare our young generation for success. You know what? Losing is supposed to be painful. And the pain of losing is what gives you the desire and the work ethic and the ability to overcome and start winning. Even if you go back to, you know, the Michael Jordan example, he came into the league and he was a phenom. He was, you know, an incredible scorer. He was scoring more points than anybody had ever scored, but they couldn't get past the Detroit Pistons. And all of that losing caused Michael Jordan to shift. He realized he was getting beat up by Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman and those guys, and that he wasn't strong enough. And so he started hitting the weights and he started putting on muscle, and he ended up putting on about 20 pounds of pure muscle. And then, of course, you know, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, some of the guys came around, and, you know, Phil Jackson basically told Michael, hey, you're going to have to pull it back. Yeah, you can go score 40 every night, but if you want to win championships, you got to rein it in. You got to score 30 and give some of your teammates some of the responsibility. Like, yeah, you know, go get your 10 or 12 points in the fourth quarter. Phil Jackson said, hey, go get your 10 or 12 in the fourth quarter. Make sure that we finish these guys off. But in order for Michael Jordan to win, he had to realize that it was a team sport, but it was the pain. If he would have just walked right through the Detroit Pistons the first year that they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if he would have just walked right through them and won a championship, he wouldn't have realized the changes that needed to be made. But see, Michael wanted to win more than he wanted to score 40. Michael would have been happy to win championships even if he was only scoring, you know, 25. And I think Michael actually still ended up averaging over 30 a game in his career. But my point is, guys, winners win. Winners win. It's just that simple. And losers lose. And if you've been losing, there's a reasonable possibility that the reason that you've been losing is because you haven't cared enough. Once again, like, if people aren't telling you that you're too competitive and like you're a little over the top obsessed with winning, then maybe you should start watching some stuff on winning. Maybe you should get around some people that have this highly competitive drive and this need to win. There's a gentleman out there, you guys can Google him. He's the founder and owner of First Form, and he also created a mindset development program called 75 Hard. His name is Andy Frisella, and he is so competitive that he doesn't do things competitively with his friends and family. It doesn't matter if it's just going and bowling on Friday night. It doesn't matter if it's playing hearts on Saturday with his family. Like, if he's doing something, he's doing it to win, and he is so obsessed with winning that he makes it no fun for everybody else. And he realizes this about himself, and so he doesn't put himself in that kind of competitive environments. He puts himself in competitive environments where he can go ahead and be obsessive and be crazy about winning in his business, in his fitness, in his relationships, and the things that matter. He has a one-track mind, and that is he is going to win no matter what the obstacle, no matter what is standing in his way, whatever the barrier is, he is going to knock it down. He's going to climb over it. He's going to go around it. He is going to figure out a way to win. And I'm telling you guys, the society that we live in right now is soft. You don't necessarily get rewarded for winning. You just, like people make you feel bad for trying to win. People will put you down and act like you're too worried about winning. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. When my kids are growing up, they're going to get rewarded for winning. And when they lose, they're going to go through the pain and suffering of losing. They're going to go through that hurt, because what ends up happening, folks, is you get to be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And if you ain't figured out that losing sucks, it's easy to keep losing in real life. And so kids these days aren't taught the pain of losing. And then when they get old and they get into the real world, like when you're rolling along in the real world, all of a sudden winning and losing matters. When your boss gives you a job and he tells you this has to be done by Wednesday at 2:00, and you don't get it done until Thursday, and there's consequences, and you're getting looked over for promotions at work, and things aren't going in the direction that you want them to in life, it's because winning is important. And so hopefully some of you guys that are maybe watching this that aren't as worried about winning as you should be will maybe have more of an awareness. And if you disagree with me, that's cool. You could turn off the computer, or we could just agree to disagree. But folks, I'm telling you, winning is important. And one of the most important things is you got to have a habit of winning. You got to have a habit of winning. And that's why it's important. If you don't believe that winning is extremely important, and you're not cognizant of it, and you're not, when you feel like you're not winning, if you aren't getting upset, there's a time and a place for getting upset, guys. Do you realize, have you ever seen an athlete? I know it's happened to me many times where I'm playing a game, everything's rolling along. Maybe you're losing by a little bit, and maybe I'm just, what's the word for it? I'm not worked up yet. I'm not upset. But I'm not happy, but I'm not upset. And then maybe somebody, makes fun of you a little bit, or rubs it in your face, or you get a guy that's a little bit bigger than you and decides to bully you a little bit, and, chest bumps you and says, yeah, you guys are going down, Brad, or whatever the case might be. You've probably seen athletes, especially in basketball, you can just see when something clicks and somebody goes from playing their normal game to where all of a sudden they're pissed. And you can tell, oh, wait a second. Oh, man, watch out now. Watch out. He is upset and he's coming for you. And their energy rises and they go to another level in their play. And everything just shifts. They become, maybe you were sitting there daydreaming a little bit about what you were going to eat after the game. Maybe you were daydreaming about that date that you were going to go on, or whatever you were going to do that night. And then all of a sudden you have this singular focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's winning that game right then in that moment. And I'm telling you guys, you want to have that a lot in life. You got to be able to turn it on and off. But it's important to have that. And part of the reason that that's so important is it helps you get through the tough times, guys. We are in one of the toughest industries in the whole world. I've said it a million times, and that is that it's very simple to get rich with cryptocurrency, but it ain't easy. And so you got to have this Mamba mentality, this mindset that winning ranks right up there with oxygen. George Steinbrenner, I saw a quote one day during a baseball game where he said something along the lines of, winning isn't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. And I'm telling you, if you go to some of those dynasties, part of the reason that the New York Yankees are a dynasty and one of the best baseball teams in the history of baseball for over 100 years is because of ownership like that. They will not settle for less than, that will not settle for less than winning. Like anything less than a World Series baseball banner hanging up in Yankee Stadium is not enough. He don't care if they made it to the playoffs and they beat everybody except for the team in the World Series. That is a losing season. Folks, I think some of you really have to draw a line in the sand and tell yourselves, hey, I haven't been winning as much in my life up to this point as I should be. And I've probably been too nonchalant about it. I've been too easygoing, go with the flow. And I haven't been that upset about the fact that there's been some areas of my life where I'm not winning. And you need to get obsessed with winning in your health, obsessed with winning in your relationships, obsessed with winning with your finances, obsessed with winning in your faith. You're like, what? Yeah, get obsessed. Don't be losing when it comes to your relationship with God. You know, there's so many people out there, including me. I'm talking to me. Like, I read my Bible, but not every day, probably not even close to every day. I go to church, but lately we've been, we moved away from moved about an hour and 45 minutes away from our normal church. So it's been hit and miss. And even though my church has an online, service that I can watch on my computer on Wednesdays and Saturdays, do I watch it every Wednesday and Saturday? No, there's been a lot of weeks that I missed. So I've talked to myself, like, if you ask me on a scale from 1 to 10, how I'm doing in winning with my relationship with God, I'd say probably at about a 4 or a 5. And so this talk today, like I've always told you guys, is as much for me as it is for you. Am I winning in my faith and my health? In some areas, I quit drinking soda cold turkey. I used to drink 4, 5, 6 Coke Zeros a day. And I quit cold turkey 3 months ago. Haven't had a soda for 3 months. We've been doing the carnivore diet for probably about 2 months now. So am I winning in that area? Somewhat. But guess what? I haven't been exercising on a daily basis. And for the last month or even more, my wife and I keep saying, hey, this carnivore diet would really kick in if we were exercising more. Not to mention, I don't want to be one of those skinny guys that can only run for 20 feet before being out of breath. I mean, there's a lot of people in life that aren't overweight that still aren't what I would call physically fit. If something happened and they had to, get into a fight to defend themselves, or they were out in the wilderness and something happened where they had to, climb up a rocky hill or something in order to avoid danger or something. There's a lot of people out there that aren't overweight that are still a long ways from being in shape. So, once again, this conversation, I'm talking to me as much as anything here. And, what's this? If you, like Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, then you're last. Amen to that. I love that. I love that. I love that saying. Absolutely. In Future Crypto, they said MJ was short as well. Yeah, that was part of the problem for sure. I don't know exactly. I think he was only 5'9" or 5'10" or something like that his freshman year. And then he sprouted up, and got to be, 6'6". But yeah, that was part of, I go back to Michael Jordan. A lot of the things that Michael Jordan used as fuel were almost imaginary. I don't know if you guys watched The Last Dance or if you've seen, some of that stuff, but I don't remember the exact story. But there was a guy that Michael Jordan said, whispered some stuff in his ear in a previous game. And Michael Jordan built up in this mind that he was going to destroy this guy the next time they played. And so, the story goes that this guy was talking and making, chirping in Michael's ear, might have said, oh, wonderful. I don't know where that phone is. Sorry, guys. One of my phones is going off. and I don't know where it is. Hey, babe, you get that phone if you have a minute, please? I don't know where it is, but I can sure hear it. Is it in my bedroom? Oh, it's sitting right there. Thank you. So, long story short, they go play the next game against this guy's team, and Michael Jordan scores like 50 and just absolutely annihilates the guy. The guy scores like almost no points, has the worst game of his career. And then you find out later on as they continue to tell the story in The Last Dance that Michael Jordan made it all up. The guy never said a word to him, but Michael Jordan made it up in his mind and convinced himself that this guy had made fun of him or had said some derogatory things about him and worked himself up into such a lather that he actually believed it. And so Michael Jordan was the king of manufacturing, reasons to win and manufacturing an attitude of winning. And, I heard I've heard it several times, but Charles Barkley was talking about one time, he realized that Michael Jordan was like crazy competitive. So they're playing in the 1992 Olympics or something like that. 92 Olympics, I think it was, 96 Olympics, somewhere in there. And it's him and Charles Barkley and Tim Duncan and, Chuck Daly was the coach. They go out golfing in the morning. They got to play Puerto Rico that night, I think it was. They got to play a game that night. So they go out golfing, they play 18 holes. It's like, 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And the rest of them say they're going to head back and get ready for the game. And Michael tells the coach, hey, I'm going to play another round. And they're all like, what? And like Chuck Daly's like, hey, we got a game against Puerto Rico tonight, right? And he's like, yeah, I know, I'll be fine. So Michael stays out in that heat, plays a whole nother round of golf. He comes in a little while before this game with Puerto Rico, and Chuck Daly is handing out assignments. He says, okay, Charles, you're going to take this guy. Tim, you got this guy. Michael, you got the point guard. And Michael's like, no, I want to guard this guy tonight. And Chuck's like, you don't want to guard the point guard or the shooting guard, whatever it is. And Michael says, nah. This guy said some stuff about me in the Puerto Rican newspaper, and I'm going to get him. And just the way that he said it, the rest of the team, Charles Barkley was like, whoa. And they go out, it's the Olympics. And Charles Barkley said Michael Jordan was playing defense on this guy like it was game 7 of the NBA Finals. Michael scored, an obscene amount of points. The guy that he was guarding had one of the worst games of his life. And towards the end of the game, Michael told the guy, don't you ever, talk about me again, or something to that effect. And guys, I know you think that guys like Michael Jordan are special. Well, Michael Jordan is special, but part of the reason that he's special is because of his competitiveness. And I'm telling you, competitiveness can be learned. Competitiveness can be created. You just have to start creating it. Take situations that you used to be in that you wouldn't have been competitive about and start getting competitive. If your work has contests, and in the old days, you didn't care if you won a contest or not. If you won it, great. But if you didn't, that was okay. Get rid of that. Decide that you're going to win. And folks, you can be competitive without letting the whole world know that you're crazy competitive. Like, you can hold it in. In fact, sometimes if you hold it in and you let it simmer and you let it bubble up inside of you, you can actually be more competitive and compete at a higher level. And nobody even really realizes how important it is to you in the moment, so that you're not seeming crazy to your friends and your family and your wife. For us that have wives, we don't want our wives to think that we're crazy, like we're playing hearts against our friends on a Saturday night. And your wife and the other 2 people that you're playing hearts against, they don't got to realize that this is important to you, that you're going to win this game no matter what. You're going to give it your all and do everything that you can to win the game. Like, it drives me crazy. I play some cards with some family, and most of us are competitive, but there's a person or two. We all have those people in the family. They just don't care. Oh, I don't care. Oh, like, they don't learn from their mistakes either. They'll play in a bad way. They won't play strategically sound. When you try to say something and teach them, it's a good opportunity to, a growing moment to help them learn and get better in their skill. And they don't want to hear it. They're like, oh, that's okay. I don't care if I'm just here to play. I don't care if I win. And like, seriously, those are the same people where 10 years later, they're still making the same mistakes. Part of the reason that it's important to be competitive and to care if you're losing is because you learn from it and you get better. If you're not better than you were last week, last month, last year, it's because you aren't competitive enough. Where are we at here? We've been going for about 36 minutes. Easy on the skinny guys, Greg. Hey, you seem like you're in pretty good shape, Greg. You take pretty good care of yourself. If you and I were out in the wilderness and all of a sudden a bear was chasing us down, I would like your chances. I would definitely like your chances, because remember, if a bear is chasing you and your buddy through the woods, you don't got to be faster than the bear. You just got to be faster than your buddy. So, Greg, you definitely take pretty good care of yourself, and so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But with that, guys, I want to talk a little bit about the Infinite Agape token. So we launched now just over a week ago. It was one of the most exciting days of my life, and it has been an amazing ride for this last week. The Bitcoin conference was unbelievable. We had so much fun. We got our Infinite Agape shirts. Greg Nowak was out there. He got his Infinite Agape shirts. And folks, we have a few left back here at home. And so we're going to sell these incredible t-shirts. Let me grab this one here so I can show you the back. Oh. So we got these t-shirts right now. We just have them in white. But I know that there was a lot of you guys in the Infinite Agape Telegram group saying that you would love this. It's got the cross on the front of it. And then on the back, it says love without limits, faith. What does it say? Faith what? Faith with a purpose. Love without limits, and faith with a purpose. So we're going to sell these shirts for $30. We'll cover the shipping and handling if you live in the United States. If you live outside of the United States, we got to do a little bit more research and figure out exactly what shipping and handling is going to cost. But for any of you that want to rock an Infinite Agape t-shirt and support this amazing project, just reach out to me. You can let me know in the chat here. We'll figure out a way to connect either on Telegram or Twitter. It's pretty easy to get a hold of me. You can just send me $30 in crypto. You can send $30 in Cash App, Venmo, whatever. We'll figure it out. But if you want an Infinite Agape t-shirt and support this incredible project, the shirts are $30. We're going to have a whole Shopify store up here very soon where you can buy cups. We've got a really cool tote, really nice looking tote bag for you ladies out there, and all sorts of amazing merchandise that are coming with the Infinite Agape token. But I want to let you know that the developers are doing a fantastic job, and it's not as easy as it might seem to create this voting mechanism the way that we wanted it done. So the one thing that I have been anxious about, that I'm really looking forward to, is this infiniteagape.io website is still not live to the public. Now, my developers have told me that hopefully that's going to change in the very, very near future. And so I'm hoping that sometime in the next 24 hours, the website is live. And then we as a team are going to go in and we're going to test the nomination and voting mechanisms and make sure that everything is working properly. But the reason that I mentioned that is I've noticed that the buys feel like they're trickling in. They're not coming in as much. And I want to give you guys right now, we went up to a price of about 0.0325. And right now we're sitting down at 0.0275. So we've had a slight dip, but folks, there are not very many tokens in circulation. And we've got a lot of people that I think are waiting for this website and these nominations to go live. So if you've been considering jumping into the Infinite Agape token, now, in my opinion, is a fantastic time. You've got about a 10-15% dip, and there's not a whole lot of room for this thing to go much lower than it already is. And in my opinion, once this website gets up and people can start nominating tokens and we do our first voting round and that first airdrop comes out and all of you see how real this is, I think that this token is on the verge of exploding and going up into the pennies very, very quickly. So from where it's sitting to get to a penny is almost a 4x. So I would highly recommend, for those of you that haven't bought any of the Infinite Agape tokens yet, I would highly suggest, and if I was you, I would highly consider going and getting that done. If you're not in the Telegram group yet, you want to go get in the Telegram group. It's got all of the links. It's got the contract address. It's got everything that you need to be able to figure out how to go buy this token, add it to your MetaMask wallet, and so on and so forth. And so that's just going to be right in the top of the description. In fact, I think it's the very first link at the top of this description to go get your into the referral bot. That's the other cool thing. We're giving away $777 worth of Agape tokens to those of you that refer the most people into the Telegram group. And we've still got, it's June 2nd. The cutoff date for that is June 15th. So even if you're starting brand new, you just joined the Telegram group today, you've got a lot of time to refer your friends and family, coworkers, anybody that you know in the cryptocurrency space that's on Telegram, refer them to the Infinite Agape Telegram bot. But once again, this kind of comes back to what I'm talking about. When you're betting on a project, the project itself is important, but in my opinion, the team behind the project is the most important. And so I think there's some companies out there that don't have necessarily a great product, but they got a great team. And then there's some companies out there that have an incredible product that don't have a very good team. And a lot of times, it's amazing to me, but a lot of times in life, the mediocre product with an amazing team, a lot of times ends up being the winner. And so I'm being humble here because I have confidence in myself, but I don't want this to come off arrogant. In my opinion, folks, you've really got the best of both worlds here. This is an incredible project, and something that I don't think a lot of you are taking into account is, you get to vote, you get to nominate, you can win $500 for nominating the winning token. You can win an airdrop of several $100s of that winning token, and that's all super cool. But, we spend a lot of time on Wednesdays going over microcap gems, and what this project, Infinite Agape, is going to do is we're going to have dozens and dozens and then hundreds and then hundreds and then thousands of people that are taking a look at the 10, 20, 30,000 cryptocurrency projects that are out there and that are bringing them to our community. So if you're a little bit newer to crypto, or if you can remember back when you were newer to crypto and you had no idea what do you buy, like you heard a little bit about XRP, and of course, you knew about Bitcoin. But when you really started to research crypto and there's like 30,000 projects and you're trying to figure out which one do you put your hard-earned money into, And it's daunting. It's scary. You don't know how. You finally find a token and it's on the Binance Smart Chain and you don't know what to do because you're just used to buying stuff that's on Coinbase. All of these things that keep you from getting your money invested into some of the Amazons and Microsofts of the world, that is one of the biggest problems we're solving with this token. So imagine, to start off with, you've got dozens of people bringing good projects, nominating good projects. So now all of a sudden, you've got 10 or 15 or 20 projects to look at. So instead of having 10,000 projects, now you've got it narrowed down to 10 or 20 projects. Then you've got everybody voting on these projects, and there's a relatively decent probability that the token that wins probably has some amazing potential. And so now you're in a position where, 26 times a year, every 2 weeks, 26 times a year, you're going to have a new token that wins our voting battle. And you're going to have an opportunity, even if you didn't vote for that token, to go buy that token. And then you're also, just because, they didn't win, that doesn't mean that second, third, fourth, and fifth place aren't incredible projects too. So we're going to help people take this crazy wild west of crypto with tens of thousands of tokens to choose from, and we're going to narrow it down to a handful of winners. And it's going to be incredible for your cryptocurrency portfolios, guys. And all you need is $77 worth of the AGAPE token in order to participate, because that part of the website is locked and private to our token holders. So if you don't have $77 in your wallet, you're not going to be able to see the projects that got nominated so that you can vet them and so that you can vote for them. And so it's important to own at least $77 worth of our tokens. But where can you go for $77 and get dozens of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people that are all working collectively to find incredible projects for us to all invest in? And then free of charge on Tuesday nights right now, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're doing another live Zoom call. We're going to do a live Zoom training. I'm going to be on it this Tuesday with Mike Dwyer. We're going to walk you through, if you're brand new in crypto, or even if you're experienced but just want a little help, we're going to walk you through how to get your money into crypto, get it transferred all the way over to the Binance Smart Chain, and be able to buy some of the infinite AGAPE tokens. And we're going to do that for the foreseeable future. So it's an incredible opportunity. If you've ever had friends or family that wanted to get involved in crypto, but they were just scared and they didn't know where to start, to help them get into crypto. And then, folks, remember, not only are we going to be doing the nomination and voting, but then we're going to start having these projects come onto the channel. So once a project has won, now they get invited here onto the YouTube channel, and we get an hour-long AMA with them to really dive deep into their project and dive deep into their credibility and look at the owner or the CEO or whoever they have doing the interview and see if this is a person that you believe has integrity, if you believe has the skill to take their project and move it along to the point where it actually becomes a investable project and is going to do massive things. And I guess what I'm saying about here at Infinite AGAPE, we've got an incredible project. We've got incredible utility. This is not something to be overlooked. Most cryptocurrency investors are going through their cryptocurrency journey just totally guessing. Like, they're just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. They're listening to 10 or 15 different YouTubers and hoping that that YouTuber is giving them good advice. And it's hard to tell. A lot of YouTubers are only promoting the things that they're getting paid to promote. I was watching a guy the other day that's promoting, Polygon, or Poly Market, the sports betting app. And, you know, when it really comes down to it, the reason that he's doing that is because he's getting paid. And don't get me wrong, I've taken plenty of sponsorships, but at the same time, I've used this poly market and I'm not that impressed by it. There's a lot of things about it that I don't really like. And I think they take advantage of a lot of people, especially those that are newer to sports betting. You know, something else that came up, I'm not going to name the influencer, but it's the same guy. Not too long ago, he did this video where he was buying $50,000 worth of crypto. Well, I will almost guarantee you that he don't have $50,000 to go buy all of this crypto with. And these exchanges do funky things. I'm not going to name the exchange, but I had an exchange come to me. They wanted to sponsor the channel, and then they were going to give me a big fake account. So basically the guy said, hey, do you want me to load up your account with a bunch of money so that you can make high dollar trades so it'll look better to your community? And I basically said, so you mean like a fake account, like a demo account? You want to give me, $1 million in this demo account? And he's like, yeah. And I'm telling you, I almost guarantee you that that's what happened with this YouTuber. This person, in my opinion, did not have $50,000 of his own money to go buy tokens. So what he did was he did a video, though, where he was buying 5 or 10 tokens live, $50,000 worth, creates a lot of clicks, creates a lot of, excitement, a lot of views. But the point is, this guy could have picked any 10 tokens because it wasn't his money. Now, I turned that exchange down. I told him there's absolutely no way that I will do that. I'm happy to get on here on my Trader Tuesdays and show you guys a $20 trade. I'm happy to show you a $50 trade. Now, I get to the point where I'm doing $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 trades. Great. I'll show those to you also. But you can be assured that when I'm showing you something on the screen, I'm doing it myself. If I'm buying a token on my YouTube, I'm buying it with my own money. It's not fake. And so my point is, winners win. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this infinite AGAPE token win. So I don't care if I get told no 1,000 times. I'm going to go talk to the 1,001st person. I don't care what obstacles we face here as a community. We're going to make this token rip, and we're going to get some notoriety. People are going to come to us and say, man, that token that they voted for and nominated and that won a month ago is up 10x. I want to see what the Infinite AGAPE community is up to now. What token are they voting for in this 2 weeks? And then on top of all of that incredible utility, folks, we've got one of the most charitable cryptocurrencies in the whole world. Maybe the most. We shall see. But I believe that we're going to be stroking checks to some incredible charities every 2 weeks for hundreds and then thousands and then tens of thousands of dollars. And this is a project that you can really put your heart behind and that you can be proud to be a part of. So folks, if you don't have any AGAPE tokens yet, please go buy some AGAPE tokens. It looks good. When people go look at the chart and they see a lot of buys coming in, that shows them that we're headed in the right direction. So even if you just go buy $10, $15, $20 worth every single time you purchase the AGAPE token, you are being a part of the heartbeat of this amazing community and this amazing project. Not to mention, folks, we're still sitting at in between a $200,000 and $300,000 market cap, like 1,000x. Like our fully diluted market cap, folks, is only 777,000. So 1,000x for this project would only take it to $77 million market cap. I don't know if any of you guys have done that math. Now, I'm not here to say that we're going to do 1,000x. I'm not a financial advisor, and especially because I'm a founder of this token, that would be incredibly irresponsible of me. But just do your own math. I didn't realize. I was thinking that 1,000 times 777,000 was going to take us all the way up to, like 7.7 billion or 77 billion. I was kind of surprised when I did the math. Or excuse me, I think it's 77,000. We started at a $77,000 initial circulating supply market cap. So $77,000 times 1,000 is $77 million. So go do your own math and look at the potential. But you're getting in, right now, I think we have closing in on about 100 holders. We've got 170 people in the Telegram group, 130 people on the Twitter, which reminds me, please go follow us on Twitter. That link is in the description too. If you're on Twitter and you're not following the Infinite Agape token, please go follow us on Twitter. Get into that Telegram group. But my point is, folks, between me getting on other influencers' channels, marketing this, all of the plans that we have, you're getting in right now at basically the ground floor of the ground floor of the ground floor on this project. And we are going to have hundreds and then thousands of holders and people in our socials. We're going to have one of those Twitter accounts here one of these days that's got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. Imagine when some of these charities start getting the checks from us and they start following us and they start telling their communities about us. Imagine when some of these projects get that $3,000-$4,000 buy on their chart, and then we go tell them why, and then they get a free interview with me on our channel and they start telling their community about this project. So folks, we got nowhere to go but up with this thing. I hope you guys are as excited about it as I am. I love you all. I'm going to get ready to go grab a little bit of coffee, a little breakfast. Then I've got some business meetings, and then we've got some doctor's appointments today. But man, what an incredible Monday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here for an hour of your time. I hope you got some value out of today. Go do some winning. Whatever it is that you're doing today, make up your mind that you are going to go at it with an attitude of winning, of excellence. Be the best that you can be today. Love you guys. God bless. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Bye-bye for now.